Hi, my name is yeeeee, and this is the story of the Devil City Brother. A discharged soldier had nothing to live on and didn't know how to make his way, so he went out into the forest to search for food. He met a little man who turned out to be the devil. The soldier begged for food since he was poor and didn't have any money, but the devil offered a greater deal. The devil asked him to sacrifice 7 years of his life to work for the devil in exchange for a fortune. The only exception was that he was not allowed to wash, comb, trim himself, or cut his hair or nails, or wipe the tears from his eyes. Then he told him what he had to do. He was to poke the fire under the kettle wherein the hell broth was stewing, keep the house clean, and drive all the sweepings behind the doors, and see that everything was in order. But if he once peeped into the kettles, then it would go ill with him. One day the devil had to leave, giving the soldier the temptations to look inside the kettle. He could no longer restrain himself and lifted the lids of 3 kettles, revealing the bodies of his former corporal and sign in general. With depraved intentions, he let them burn in the kettle as revenge for taking control of him in his past. Then casually he went back to work. So he did his 7 years in hell. Now when the time had fully gone by, the devil told him to fill his sack full of sweepings and go, unable to wash and comb, with long hair and uncut nails and dim eyes. If asked, he must say he came from hell as the Devil City Brother. The soldier held his peace and did as the devil bade him, but he was not at all satisfied with his wages. Then as soon as he was up in the forest again, he took his knapsack from his back to empty it, but when opening it, the sweepings had become pure gold. The landlord was standing in front of the inn, and when he saw the soldier approaching, he was terrified, because Hans was such a horrible sight, worse than a scarecrow. The host would not let him enter, but when Hans showed him the gold, he came and unlatched the door himself. Hans then ordered the best room in attendance, ate and drank his fill, but neither washed nor combed himself, as the devil had bidden him, and at last lay down to sleep. Next morning, however, when Hans got up and wanted to pay the landlord and travel further, behold, his sack was gone. But he soon composed himself and thought, "You have been unfortunate with no fault of your own," and straightway went back again to hell and complained of his misfortune to the old devil and begged for his help. The devil agreed and cleaned up the soldier, cutting his hair, trimming his nails. He was to threaten the landlord. He went back up and said to the landlord, "You have stolen my money, and if you do not return it, you shall go down to hell in my place and will look as horrible as I." Then the landlord gave him the money and begged him to keep it a secret. He set out on his way home to his father. There was, however, an old king in that country before whom he had to play, and the king was so delighted with his playing that he promised him his eldest daughter in marriage. But when she heard that she was to be married to a common fellow in a smock, she said, "Rather than do that, I would go into the deepest water." Then the king gave him his youngest, who was quite willing to do it to please his father, and thus the Devil City Brother got the king's daughter. And when the aged king died, the whole kingdom likewise. The end.